Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my November beauty favorites. I'm filming this get ready with me style. This was the finished look. I have a ton of complexion products that I'm really excited about this month and a lot of great like kind of winter berry tones that I've really been loving. Obviously everything I really loved, but there's definitely some really good gems this month that I'm super excited about. I do have a sponsor in today's video and I'm so excited to be working with them. Ritual. This is Ritual's new Symbiotic Plus. This is a prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplement. Ritual uses two of the world's most clinically studied strains of probiotics with 11 billion CFUs for digestive support. So there are the prebiotics supporting the growth and activity of the beneficial bacteria in the gut. Probiotics are the live microorganisms helping with bloating and gas, and then the postbiotics help to fuel the cells that make up the gut lining. I love the nice like light minty essence to these. I think it's just such a pleasant experience. And then they also have a delayed release capsule, which is designed to help reach the colon, not the stomach, which is the ideal place for probiotics to survive and grow. And you don't have to refrigerate these, so you can just put them in your medicine cabinet or leave them out on the counter. A lot of times with prebiotic and probiotic supplements, you do have to keep them in the fridge. So I like that this one can just be left out and I don't have to worry about it. So Ritual is offering 20% off the first month if you go to the URL I have as a text overlay, and then I'll also have one in the description box as well, and a code. So you're gonna enter the code at checkout. Text overlay will be the code, and then I'll also have the code in the description box as well for you. So I'm gonna get started off with some prep. I've already cleansed my skin. I've got my moisturizer and sunscreen on. I'm gonna go in with a primer that I've really been loving. This is the Makeup Forever Hydra Booster. So I think there's a couple, if it would focus, there's a couple different versions of this one. I like the one in the white tube specifically. This is really great if you have a drier skin type. It just feels really nice and lightweight, and I do think that it helps with my makeup's longevity, but also just providing a barrier between like my skincare and my makeup. And it does feel really nice and serum-like. I feel like most of you know by now, these types of primers are my favorite. I just like how they don't feel like another layer of product on my skin, and I do get this really nice like glass shine. Feels really nice and lightweight, quickly absorbed into the skin. Makeup just goes on top of it so beautifully. I'm gonna clip this hair out of the way. I did Velcro rollers, so I feel like there's a lot of volume on the sides of my face, and it's making the hair kind of get sticky and mingle with things a little bit more than I'd like. So literally within like 30 seconds, I think you can really see I get this great nice shine, and my makeup just goes on top of it so beautifully. I'm going to take a little bit of my Chanel Le Beige. This is the Sheer Healthy Glow. This one's in Sunkissed. It's like a soft natural bronzy tone, and I really like the Chanel Illuminators. I think they're so gorgeous, but I did just like a tiny bit on the back of my hand. The foundation that I repurchased and have fallen back in love with is the Dior Backstage Foundation. I was such a big fan of this a few years ago, and I kind of stopped using it. I don't know why, but I've really just been looking for something that's like nice and light. Still gonna give me really good coverage, but just help cover up some of this post-acne markings that I have on my face without looking over the top. And this one really does all of that. And I think I've mentioned this before, Dior's undertones are fabulous. If you have more of an olive undertone, Dior's olive tones are so beautiful. So this is definitely something that's a little bit more for like traditional, you know, like a little bit more of a medium coverage day, but I still want it to look nice and natural. You don't have to put illuminator in the foundation, but I really like that little bit of extra glow. And I seriously just use like 2 pumps of foundation. I like to take a sponge. This one's from Kosas, and just lightly I could bounce this in. Honestly, I'm just super happy with how natural this looks. You know, I've also mentioned this in multiple videos to you guys, but I'm really starting to take base products super seriously. I want to experiment with a ton of different base products because I'm gonna be doing my own makeup for my wedding, and I'm just like trying to try everything, trying to see how all of these base products perform in different situations. So I'll like wear them a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of foundation reviews in the next year because I'm testing so many of them. But this Dior one, it just kind of gives you the most perfect filtered soft airbrush look. Like, it just makes my skin look so smooth, and I'm obsessed with it because it also feels so nice and lightweight. Concealer wise, I am obsessed with the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. So I have two different shades. I have Dune, which is the darker shade, and Fawn, which is the lighter shade. Fawn is amazing for just brightening up certain areas. Dune I use for the coverage. I've been like blown away at how good this is for like a little bit of a complexion highlight. Not necessarily in a way where the skin is strobed or actually luminous and shimmering, but just for that little pop of light on the skin. So I like to put the lighter shade all throughout the center, and then I take the shade that's more similar to my skin tone, and this is the one that I'll use like in certain areas where I want to add a little bit of extra coverage. So the other thing about this concealer, you know, usually I like to let them kind of settle down and get tacky. With this concealer, I actually feel like going right in and just starting to blend it out really gives you that nice seamless finish. It's super lightweight. I know I've said that, but I really like how this gives me like extra coverage, but I don't feel like I have extra makeup on. I think it blends out the best with a sponge too, but I've just been loving this like under the eyes and then all around the face. It seriously just blends out so nice. I feel like my base just looks fresh, new, like I'm ready to go in with a little bit of definition, but I like how it just gives me this nice clean slate. I can then go in and add some color, some bronzing and all of that, but I really like the way these complexion products look. I feel like my skin just like looks good, you know what I mean? Using the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, I've been loving the shade Light Fair Wild because I really liked the medium one, but then come, you know, the past couple months, I feel like my skin tone has lightened up a bit and I'm just not getting the same natural result that I want from the darker shade. So I'm gonna set that one aside for the next few months, or at least for only when I have some, you know, like spray tan or something on, because this light one just blends out so nicely. I really like how this just gives me a natural slight amount of contour. Now, my other favorite thing to do lately has been take the Matte Radiance Bronzer from Laura Mercier. This one's in the shade number 3. Now, I know when you look at it in comparison to my skin tone, it doesn't look like it's gonna do all that much, but it really does give this gorgeous, soft, airbrushed finish to my skin. Just kind of makes anything else that I put on top of it look as good as possible. I use this as kind of like a mid-tone bronzer. You know, people always talk about mid-tone blushing. Well, I feel like this is mid-tone bronzing, where you're putting a bronzer that's not quite as deep and dark, but still gonna give you a little bit of definition, and you can see how this just like buffs into my skin like an actual dream. It's got a little bit of pearly shimmer to it, so I love how it just reflects back light. So I apply it around my cheek, jawline. I like to take a little bit and like knock it in the eye area, then right on the apples of my cheeks. And then still super obsessed with this one from NARS. This is Sable from NARS, the Light Reflecting Translucent Setting Powder. I'm liking this more like light, kind of airy looking bronze effect. I think it's really soft and flattering for winter. It doesn't look too overdone. I just use this one to add a little bit of extra definition, like right under the cheekbones like this, around the hairline, and just whatever is left over on the brush, that very small amount, I'll pull towards the center of the face, and same thing, just kind of a little bit in the crease of my eye too. And it looks so nice in natural light because you can see it's just like this soft, diffused look on the skin. I don't use any studio lights when I film. I film in front of a window with natural light every single time, and it really captures how like soft and glowy this makes your skin look. I've mentioned this in another video, but I genuinely feel like I'm in my powder era. I am loving powders. I'm loving testing powders, playing around with new ones, loving the way my skin looks with powder. We will see if this changes when the season changes, but lately I seriously cannot get enough of the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I love how bright and gorgeous this looks underneath my eyes, and it does make my makeup last longer, but not only that, it really helps with preventing my makeup from like settling into lines. And I will literally just lightly kind of stipple this right under the eye area. It gives me some brightness, some smoothness, just really makes the under eye look so gorgeous and brightened up. And then whatever's left over on the brush, I'll put on my T-zone. NARS came out with their holiday cheek palette, and I get this every single year. I collect them. I love these. I think these are such a great value. You get so many amazing NARS quality blushes all in one palette, and The colors this year are so great. So my favorite are, I think you can tell just by looking at the palette, these two right here, those are my favorites. And the best thing about these is that they're more of a sateen finish, so they mix really gorgeously and they just apply super, super dreamy. So I'm gonna start with this shade right here. I'll use this in more future videos this month so you can get a little bit better of a feel for the shades, but I'm gonna use that nudie shade right there, and I'm just gonna pop that right on the cheek. You know, I like something a little bit more natural. I also can't go too overboard with the blush because I'm gonna do like kind of a more dramatic eye today because I want to show you some eyeshadows. And then I'm gonna take this lighter shade right here and I put that right on top just for a pop right on the apple of the cheek. It's like a luminous nude tone. Really pretty, nice, neutral nude tones, but then you also get these poppy, girly, really punchy shades. They're all super buildable and customizable, so they don't have to be this intense. You can share them out really nice. And I think the thing that I like about this palette the most this year is that they all mix really well together. So within these shades, you can obviously wear them isolated and as singular shades, but they mix really well together. The formula of the powder itself lends itself really easy to double dipping into multiple shades and really creating a perfect custom blush tone. So I really like that because I love just like a little bit more of like a soft, luminous glow on the cheek. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury single shade in Walk of No Shame. This is the one I've highlighted to you before. I think it's a really gorgeous, beautiful color, especially if you have dark brown eyes. And a lot of you wanted to see how I like to use it, so I'm going to use that for today's look. It's definitely one of my favorite single cream shadows I own right now. It's like a garnet shade. It gives you a pop of color without pulling like wacky or hard to work with, because I know sometimes like when you get singular shadow shades, it's almost harder than if you have a palette, because you kind of have to figure out like how you want to use this shade with other colors, whereas with this shade specifically, even though it's kind of like a, you know, garnet fiery shade, you can wear it on its own and not feel like you're missing something. So you can just take a little bit of whatever face powder you're using, pop that into the crease of your eye, do some eyeliner and mascara, you're good to go. And I'm just gonna smudge this along the lower lash line. I feel like your eyes just look like chocolate fudge, and they also pull the warmth from a brown eye to where it makes your eyes pop. It's phenomenal on its own with a little bit of eyeliner, but I really want to show you this. This is from Kaja. It's the eye stack. I love this. It's just a little trio of shadows. So this one's in Orange Blossom. You get kind of like a peachy, shimmery glitter. Then you get like a true kind of like melon gold shimmer, and then a bronze shimmer. I love using these just for almost like a wet glisten on the eye. I'm gonna use the brown one and just pop that right on my eye. I have been using this like nonstop for 2 months. My friend Shelby is the one who got me into them. I cannot put it down. It's just the easiest thing. You just lay down a base of color, and then right on top, you just pop this where you want a little bit of extra glisten. I'm gonna run just a touch of eyeliner on my top lash line. This is kind of like a rich mocha brown. I'm also gonna put just a little bit in my waterline. I'm using the Chanel brow pencil. This is waterproof. I feel like it actually lasts noticeably longer, especially on areas where I don't have any hair, like that bald spot I have. I know that this is a Chanel brow pencil. It's obviously ridiculous price point, but I paid for it and I really do like it and I want to use it. So I like the Chanel brow pencil. I don't necessarily always think that brow pencils are worth splurging on, but I really like this one. It's also super natural looking. It's not like overly opaque. It's not too creamy. It's like a nice dry brow pencil, and I think the shade matches my hair pretty darn perfectly. And I'm gonna set my brows with the Kosas Air Brow. I've been using the shade Black, and it's a good winter tone again for me just because my hair is not as light as it's been over the summer. And honestly, you don't even have to use the brow gel, the brow pencil when you use this brow gel. I just like how when I pair it with a little bit of brow gel, it looks a little bit more strong. Moving into mascara, I'm going to use the Tarte Light Camera Splashes. I really like this. My lashes are not in the best, like they're just not in the best phase right now. They're in a shedding phase, so I've got a lot of gapping going on. This happens like every few months, maybe like every 3-4 months. I get the shedding phase and then my lashes just don't look good for about a month, but they're growing back in. I can see the long ones. There's like a bunch that are awkwardly longer than the rest. And I really like this mascara. It just kind of like beefs them up, gives them a little bit more length. Dior Jungle Brown. This is another one of my favorite fall lip pencils. All right, so first lip favorite is these Dior lip tints. Now I've done a short on these and I've swatched both of them. The two shades that I really like are Natural Tea, which is this one that's a little bit more of a deep kind of terracotta, and then Natural Rosewood. These are sheer. They have this really gorgeous soft minty tingle to them, and they look so beautiful and so natural. If you like sheer tinted lips, you will like these. They also leave you with a little bit of a stain once the actual color wears off. That's why I'm not going to swatch these for this video, because I'm also going to show you some other tinted lips, and I feel like if I put these on, it's going to kind of conflict with the lip swatches that I want to do for you. So these are great. I'll put the short in the description box where you can see the both of them. I'm obsessed. Like, can't get enough of them. Now, the other one I'm really loving is from Bobbi Brown. It's the Crushed Oil Infused Gloss. Every time I wear this, you all ask what it is. It's in the shade Force of Nature. This is just one of the most flattering lip products I've ever used. It gives you a little bit of color, just a little bit, and so you can see it's on the bottom lip. It's just like one of those perfect Your Lips But Better shades. So obviously it's gonna look a little bit different on everyone depending on your natural lip shade, but the formula of these, it is so good, and they are just very flattering, juicy, gorgeous, amazing beautifulness. Love this. Force of Nature. I'm serious, every time I've worn it, multiple people go wild for it because it's such a good color. Next we have this, another tinted lip oil type of product, but I love these, and I think you can tell like I'm going after like berry tones. I think they're really flattering during the fall. This is the Ilia Balmy Gloss in the shade Linger. Another really fabulous everyday lip color. This one has more coverage, but it is a stunning berry. A little baby girl berry color. Punchiness to the complexion, gorgeous. I like the formula of this so much, I definitely want to get more shades. Last favorite is the dreamiest sheer berry tone. Kind of like a cool wine merlot color. This is Bar from Dior, and it's one of those like juicy, shiny ones. It has a really gorgeous vinyl finish. It's just like smoky and good without being fully opaque. Honestly, when I got Dior Bar, I saw it in person at Sephora and I swatched it on the back of my hand, and it looked quite berry-ish. Like, I don't know, I just think it pulls a little bit more purple in a swatch, but then when you put it on your lips, it's just like cool tone. It kind of gives you those like gorgeous wine-stained lips, like you've just had a glass of Cabernet. Like, that's the vibe I get from this. I really, really like how it just kind of looks like wine-stained lips. I think it's very fall, very winter. I love it a lot. All right, so those were all of my November beauty favorites. I hope you still enjoy the Get Ready With Me style. If you like it better where I just kind of have a chat with you and talk about the product and then maybe insert some demo clips, let me know if you prefer that. That tends to be a little bit faster. Or if you like the Get Ready With Me style better, let me know. I'll film it however you prefer to watch it. So I'm also gearing up for end of the year favorites. Just let me know how you want to see that. Do you still want to see December favorites, or do you just want me to skip favorites for the month of December? Leave it in the comments down below. Let me know how you prefer to see the monthly favorites, if you like Get Ready With Me or more chatty. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I would love it so much if you would leave a comment, and come follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye everyone.